A frozen moon is quietly throwing an ocean into space. Against the darkness surrounding Saturn, Enceladus looks almost ordinary. It is small, bright, wrapped in ice, the kind of world scientists once expected to be frozen forever. Then, sunlight caught something impossible. Thin white plumes were rising from its south pole, reaching silently into space. A moon that should have been asleep was losing material every second. The question was no longer whether something unusual was happening. The question became far more unsettling. What could possibly power a frozen world like this? From a distance, the plumes looked like strange ice geysers. An isolated curiosity, perhaps a temporary crack releasing trapped vapor. That explanation fit everything scientists thought they knew about small icy moons. These worlds were expected to cool quickly and remain geologically dead for billions of years. But the eruptions did not fade. They continued feeding an enormous ring around Saturn with fresh ice. Material was leaving Enceladus fast enough to escape its weak gravity and spread into space. The moon was not simply displaying an unusual surface feature. It was actively changing its surroundings. The surface alone could no longer explain what everyone was seeing. As the spacecraft passed closer, the strange jets led the investigation back to the ground beneath them. 4 immense fractures stretched across the South Pole, like fresh wounds cut through brilliant white ice. Scientists nicknamed them the tiger stripes. Against the frozen landscape, they stood out for another reason. They were warm. Not warm by Earth standards, but dramatically warmer than the surrounding terrain. Thermal maps showed long ribbons of heat flowing directly from these cracks, while the rest of the moon remained locked in extreme cold. At first glance, it seemed obvious. The fractures must be creating the eruptions. But the evidence slowly pushed that idea aside. The cracks behaved less like the source of the activity and more like open doorways. Heat was escaping through them. Ice and vapor were escaping through them. Everything pointed downward. Whatever was driving the eruptions existed beneath the frozen crust. That raised a much larger question. How much lay beneath? Perhaps only isolated pockets of liquid water. Small reservoirs trapped inside otherwise solid ice. On a moon this small, that would have seemed reasonable. Then the moon itself revealed something its surface never could. Over years of careful observation, tiny changes in Enceladus's motion exposed an invisible separation between its icy shell and its rocky interior. The outer crust was wobbling independently from the core. That movement required something remarkable. A layer of liquid water, not scattered pockets. A global ocean wrapped around the entire moon, hidden beneath its frozen exterior. The tiger stripes were no longer mysterious cracks. They had become openings connected to an ocean no telescope could directly see. Everything visible on the surface suddenly meant something completely different. Yet another contradiction immediately appeared. An ocean should not survive here. Enceladus receives only a tiny fraction of the sunlight reaching Earth. Left alone, that hidden sea should have frozen solid long ago. Instead, heat continued escaping from the South Pole. The answer arrived not from the surface, but from gravity. Enceladus shares an orbital rhythm with the neighboring moon Dione. As the two worlds circle Saturn, gravity repeatedly stretches and squeezes Enceladus. The constant flexing bends its interior over and over again. Each cycle generates heat. Not enough to melt the entire moon into water, but enough to keep a hidden ocean alive beneath the ice. The frozen shell was no longer a contradiction. It was the lid covering an active world, powered from within. That realization transformed every plume rising into space. They were not random eruptions. They were carrying messages. When the spacecraft flew directly through the spray, its instruments captured tiny grains of ice and samples of gas escaping from the moon. Inside those particles, researchers found salts, then molecular hydrogen, methane, complex carbon-rich organic material, even microscopic silica particles that pointed back to very hot water interacting with rock deep below the surface. Each discovery changed the meaning of the plume once again. It was no longer frozen water blasting into space. It was evidence collected from an unseen seafloor. On Earth, hot water reacting with rock creates hydrothermal environments along the ocean floor. The same chemical fingerprints now appeared inside material escaping from Enceladus. The hidden ocean was not isolated from its rocky interior. It was actively interacting with it. That interaction matters because it brings chemistry and energy together. Exactly the kind of combination scientists look for when evaluating whether an environment could support life. But there is an important boundary. The evidence goes no further. No organisms have been detected. No living cells have been observed. Nothing collected from Enceladus proves that biology exists beneath the ice. What the evidence does confirm is something almost as surprising. Liquid water exists. The ocean is global. It contains salts. Organic compounds are present. Hydrothermal activity is occurring on the seafloor. Every one of those conclusions comes from physical measurements rather than speculation. And perhaps the most extraordinary discovery is not hidden beneath the ice at all. It is happening above it. Most ocean worlds would require drilling through kilometers of frozen crust before scientists could investigate what lies below. Enceladus performs that work naturally. Its erupting plumes continuously transport material from the hidden ocean into open space, where passing spacecraft can collect and analyze it without ever touching the surface. The same white jets that first appeared as a visual curiosity have become something entirely different. They are a natural sampling system. Every eruption carries another small collection of clues from a place no human machine has ever reached. The investigation ends where it began. The plume is still rising into the darkness. Only now it means something completely different. What first looked like an odd feature on a tiny frozen moon has become direct evidence of an active ocean world concealed beneath ice. A world where heat, water, rock, and complex chemistry exist together in one hidden system. Enceladus has not revealed life. It has revealed something just as important. A place where one of the solar system's strongest scientifically supported environments for habitability quietly announces its existence with every silent plume escaping into space.